there seems to be a Democrat and a Republican have teamed up to kind of try and get a vote in the House. And they appear to already have attracted the support of a few Republican rebels. So once again, Trump is going to have to try and exert his authority if he really does want to keep these files secret.
Now, Donald Trump may well be claiming, and he is, that no one cares about Jeffrey Epstein, but he's still facing a real backlash from among his own MAGA base for refusing to release documents from the investigation by the FBI and the Department of Justice. Some of those MAGA loyalists, as they have been joining the call for the documents to be released. Republican senators are swerving to avoid being caught up in this split in the party. Let's talk to George Grylls, Washington correspondent for The Times, who's been following all of this. Hello to you, George.
Good afternoon.
Hi, well, no doubt, very obviously, Donald Trump would wishes this would just go away, but the split is there, and it's a very noisy disagreement.
And now you have Elon Musk wading in. And bear in mind, if you remember during that original falling out with Donald Trump, he kind of made the allegation that Donald Trump was named in this evidence bundle that had been assembled against Jeffrey Epstein. And then he later retracted that allegation, deleted it, and now he's piped back up again and is basically spent all of the early hours of this morning tweeting about how he thinks Trump is implicated and how Trump needs to release the files.
Right. Well, for those of us who haven't followed it, I know he's got endless squillions of followers, George. Well, what has Musk been saying now?
He basically mocked Trump over the accusations that it was a hoax. Pointed to the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell was still in jail. He also kind of referenced the Lolita Express, which was the nickname for Jeffrey Epstein's private jet, and was kind of in this bizarre back and forth with his AI chatbot called Grok over kind of whether or not and how many times Trump might have flown on the plane. Essentially, he's trying to kind of whip up the anti-Trump, but nevertheless kind of MAGA sympathetic crowd to pressure the president to release the files in their entirety.
Right. I mean, that is significant, isn't it? Because we saw that explosion of hostility between the two of them when they had that flare up over the big beautiful bill, so called. Trump's got big differences with all of that. So, but he's now not just going on this question of Epstein. He's going for Trump very directly again, while having announced that he's going to be starting his own party. So he's an enemy in every possible sense. This is just going to escalate.
It's a big challenge to Trump's authority. And he's got another one coming up, which is, do Republicans stay loyal and vote with him if the Democrats succeed in forcing a vote in Congress over releasing the entirety of the files? Now, there seems to be a Democrat and a Republican have teamed up to kind of try and get a vote in the House. And they appear to already have attracted the support of a few Republican rebels. So once again, Trump is going to have to try and exert his authority if he really does want to keep these files secret. He's already kind of used a bit of political capital to defend Pam Bondi, his Attorney General. Meanwhile, there are questions again over the Department of Justice, which she runs, after they essentially fired the main prosecutor in Manhattan, who was involved in the original Epstein criminal case. And in a further twist, the same woman, the same prosecutor, is the daughter of James Comey, who's the former director of the FBI, who Trump has blamed basically for the entire Epstein saga.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to fuel the conspiracy theorists who've until now been pretty much behind Trump. Now they're lining up against him, George. And look at the identity of some of these people. You've got Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's as loud a cheerleader for Trump as you could possibly find in Congress. She's going to vote, it seems, to release these files. And you've got all these influences between them, millions upon millions of followers who are openly turning against Trump and saying he's on the wrong side here and he's siding with the cover-up artists.
Yeah, you've got podcasters, media personalities, Tucker Carlson leading the charge, Charlie Kirk, another podcaster. These are all people kind of weighing in. And bear in mind, Trump himself was kind of fanning the flames of this conspiracy theory. He said, he basically kind of teased the prospect that he would release it. Kash Patel, he appointed as director of the FBI. He was a kind of prominent proponent of the conspiracy theory. So you'd have to say that he himself is somewhat responsible, perhaps, for this current outcry over his decision not to release it, because he kind of encouraged it.
Extraordinary stuff, and in its way, just gripping stuff too. George Grylls, Washington correspondent of the Times, thank you so much for joining us.
Mr. President, I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled? Why do you think that is?
Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake. All that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say let them have it. Thank you, President. Thank you.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of his death?
Yeah, sure. If
Hey, Pam, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.